This just tells you, Jeff, what a sad, pathetic guy I am. Like, I usually drink Diet Mountain Dew because it's reasonably okay if it's room temperature or even a little warm. So, like, if I have a class day, I don't fly around with a cooler. So I'll just, like, get Diet Mountain Dew instead of Coke
Right.
because Coke is fucking nasty when it's warmed up.
Coke is nasty. Yeah.
See? That's just another reason why the Diet Mountain Dew is the superior choice. I'm a big fan of Diet Cola when it's iced down, but, whatever. I'm too fucking fat anyway. Anyway, welcome to the Practical Pistol Show. My name's Ben, here to answer your shooting questions. On deck today, Mr. Matt Hopkins.
Hello,
Kansas
everybody.
City.
That's me.
From Washington, Mr. Kim.
Hello, everybody.
Yes. From Alberta, Canada, Jeffy.
Hello, everyone.
Are you an Alberta GM still, Jeff?
I am.
Oh, hot fire.
Yeah.
Kim's not even a GM.
No, what is that?
What's that?
GM?
Yeah, exactly.
What is that for?
What is that?
What is that for?
For shooting.
Oh, okay.
You're not a GM. You're not a GM.
No, I'm not.
I think because you choose not to be.
Not really true, but
That's 100% true. You're a sandbagging son of a bitch.
no, I shot a GM
Oh, shoot.
classifier.
Huh?
You shot one?
I shot a GM classifier, but it was 96%, and he kicked out one of the 100%. So it's just, yeah,
I don't know
I
what
was
you're
like,
talking
what?
about right now. All I know is you're a sandbagger.
yeah. Everybody agrees with it. Even Danielle agrees with it.
Even your wife tells you that you're a sandbagger.
Yeah, sometimes.
That's not nice of her. No, it's kind of nice. All right, Ben, greatly appreciate the podcast and everyone you have on. I've learned a lot from you, Matt, Nick, Tim, Kimmy, and many of the other guests. There really isn't anyone else in my town that takes shooting seriously, so having the podcast really helps me to stay focused and motivated. Hey, you know what? I agree with this guy. There's nobody within like a 90-minute drive of where I live that is super serious about shooting. Maybe one guy. There's one guy. That's it. So there's not many people. Anyway. Here's my question. I'm looking to put some solid pressure on the GMs winning around me, and my strategy for progress this season is to focus on just a few skills this year and really hammer them. I've selected 2 so far: drawing while initiating movement and training my eyes and index for speedy transitions. I'd like to add one more focus to my training. What would you recommend? So, guys, do you want to give your recommendations and then we can kind of deconstruct the question here? Because
Sure.
the question's a touch silly, right?
There's no context behind
No context. But, all right. So
it.
anyway,
You
Matt,
like asking?
yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to know. It's like he wants to know the thing that he doesn't know, but he doesn't know what he wants.
It
Anyway,
doesn't tell us anything to try to get to that either.
no. So Matt, what would you throw out there as one thing to train on?
I mean, with no context, I'd
No
say
context.
maybe. I mean, that's so hard. Like our reloads would probably be good to work on.
It's only hard because you're trying to produce like a helpful answer,
Yeah, I know. I mean,
and it's
Maybe
hard to be
reload-
helpful.
yeah.
Jeff,
I mean that.
throw one out there.
Movement from point to point and having a gun up and ready and trying to cut down
It's never a bad thing to work on.
waiting time. Yeah.
Never a bad thing. What about you, Kim?
So transitions at the end, the answer is transitions, but the process of transitions. So being able to see things very quickly, especially if there's a little bit of wide angle, making sure your eyes are really snapping to the next target, and also gun stopping exactly where you want. The gun overrunning or stopping short is a common problem.
So we call it no go.
Shooting more A's, no go.
Well, yeah. Okay. So what would I recommend this guy work on? I don't know. Any of the shit you guys said was fine. Fine with me. I would say shooting faster while shooting straight. So like pulling the trigger fast and straight, that's always a good thing to work on. But now let's deconstruct this guy's question. So we read this in the pre-show. And it's like, so you're working on drawing while initiating movement, which is minutia to work on, and then training his eyes and index for speedy transitions. Well, I'm sorry to inform you people, but your eye speed or whatever doesn't really have a whole lot to do with speedy transitions. Like human eye speed is not that critical. There's not a whole lot of difference there, unless you're a complete fucktard or there's something wrong with your eyes. Like, you don't need to make your eyes faster. You need to use the eyes that you've got. So, yes. Matt, what do you really want to say to this guy, where you kind of step outside the frame of the question, the way he framed it?
Like, he needs to figure out what he's not, like, what his biggest, like, gap in is time, that he's losing time on, and work on that, add that in.
Well, that, and it's like, when you start to pressure GMs, like, bro, it's not going to be, like, you want me to hand you the key to the door, but it's not that simple. When if you were a C-class guy, we could give you 2 or 3 things to work on that would make a big difference in your game. But if this guy's looking to pressure GMs, he's A-class, M-class, he's good. So it's going to be a lot of little things. It's going to be a lot of detailed work. It's, you know, and he gets
ask one of those GMs to, like, critique you from after you shoot a match with them. They'll find probably 3 or 4 things easily.
Yeah.
Without even, like, seriously, like, looking into you.
Yeah, it's actually probably a better critique if they don't think about it too hard.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They're just like, oh, you got to do this and this. You know? And you go, okay, I'll do that. Jeff, what do you think?
If he really wants to put pressure on the GMs and compare himself, like, video himself shooting a stage, video a GM shooting the stage, and see where the differences are, where he's losing the time, kind of point-to-point transitions and movements and the point difference, and just analyze all of that, then come up with actual specific deficiencies and then work on that.
Yeah, but it's not going to be 2 things, right?
That's going to be a whole bunch of things.
It's going to be a whole bunch of little things. And one thing I like to say is you practice everything all the time, a little bit, at least.
Yeah.
It's like, when you're getting down to drawing while initiating movement, like, what the fuck? Like, that is not very detailed. And that's, like, so small. Like, that's not what's keeping you off the podium, son. I'm sorry to tell you. All right, Kim, what do you have to say about this?
It could be also mental and consistency related. That's not just about the skill. So basically, being able to run the cold run and the hot run at the same, so first stage of the match or the last stage of the match, it can be very so basically, if he wants to do and perform well, he has to be consistent, and he cannot have, like, all the mics and no shoots, or one stage hero and the other stage 0 kind of thing. So I think it's also very important that he addresses his consistency and mental consistency, things like that, mental skills.
Yes. It could be any one or all of these things.
Yeah, especially local matches. If you shoot 6 stages, a lot of people go full bore hero or 0 mode, and you end up seeing, like, mic no shoot here and there. Then it's gonna really kill the overall skill or overall score.
Yeah, like, I mean, I get where this guy's coming from. He wants the thing that he didn't even know he wanted. Like, what as Steve Jobs said, like, people don't know what they want till you show it to them. He wants to be shown the thing. He's going to be like, oh, light bulb, that's the thing I wanted. And I want this too. Like, I want to go to a restaurant and have the thing that I didn't even know that I wanted. You know what I mean? Like, I had a tuna mango Reuben the other day. I didn't even know that I'd like that. It was fucking awesome. So you know what I mean? Exactly. What?
Mango and tuna?
Mango and tuna in a Reuben.
Sounds good.
Does it?
It doesn't sound good at all, Kim. It sounds
good to me.
But it's quite good.
I like mango. I like tuna.
I like all these things separately, and it turns out you put them together, and you got a nice dish.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Mango and tuna pairs well because, you know, citrus with fish is typically good. But then you throw the Reuben thing in there, and you're like, what? That's what this guy wants. He wants you to just tell him the thing that he didn't think of. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next question. The guy says, podcast 240, you mentioned that dry firing a double action pistol in DA is actually harmful. I'm pretty sure that is not what I said. At least not in that context. Well, I shoot a Walther P99 DASA, or anti-stress as it has been marketed. I don't know what that means. Could you elaborate on why it's actually harmful for my shooting and how I should go about this problem? Or am I too stupid to find it in your Dry Fire Reloaded book? Thanks for the awesome podcast. All right. Let me answer the guy's question, then you guys could shred me a little bit. It's not harmful to dry fire your pistol in double action mode. That is not harmful. That's actually good and necessary to learn your double action trigger. What is harmful is to dry fire only in double action mode. Especially guys will like practice build drills or something, draw them, they'll do 6 double actions, click, 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 with their CZs or Tanfolios. Not many of them using Walther P99s because, for obvious reasons. But yeah, it is harmful to dry fire in double action only because you're getting a very unrealistic sense for how your trigger is going to work. So you need to practice double action, and you need to practice single action, and you need to practice how your pistol is actually going to function when you shoot it live. For most guys shooting double action guns, the typical way you're going to do it is you draw a pistol, you do the first shot in double action, then you let the trigger out a little ways, not enough to pick up the hammer again for another double action throw, but then you pull it back once in double, let it out a little bit so it would reset the single action trigger if the gun were actually firing, and you press in again pretty hard, and then you kind of simulate that single action. And then, unfortunately, the way pistols work is if you take your finger off it, it's going to reset it to the hammer again. So that means when you take your finger off the trigger to reload or move, if you're doing this dry fire, the first shot again will be double action, which is not very realistic, but it's kind of the best we can easily do in dry fire. So the reason you shouldn't do all double action is because it's not realistic to how your pistol's going to work. And I can almost every single class I do, almost every time, I'll see a guy shooting a double single gun, and he'll draw the pistol, he looks really confident with it, fires his first shot, goes straight. You can draw and hit a 20 yards piece of steel, no problem. But when you push him to go fast, their second shot, it's all fucked up, and then after that they shoot straight. And I pick up on that. I'm like, that dude dry fires in double action only. I can just tell, just by watching them shoot, because it actually fucks up your shooting to be practicing all double action shots, because you're not learning your trigger, how it actually functions. Is that a fair explanation, Kim?
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Anything to add to that?
And
Any of you guys?
Sometimes in dry fire, you don't even have to pull the trigger if you are, let's say, practicing transitions, for example. And when I do transitions, my focus is actually stopping the front sight exactly where I'm looking at. In that manner, the trigger control part is not as significant. So I often do, so when I go back and forth from carry optics to production, iron sight versus red dot, that's what I usually do. I eliminate the trigger pull part, but I'm just keep transitioning to hard target, easy target kind of thing without actually pulling the trigger.
All right, Jeffy, you don't have to worry about such things as you don't like production.
Correct.
Yes, and this is one of the reasons you don't like production, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I love it. Hoppy Cakes, you don't like dry fire.
Yeah, there we go. No, you said exactly what I thought he was talking about, was pulling the double action every shot.
Yes. Type it out, Hopkins. Or that's Jeff.
What?
All right.
It's Jeff.
That's Jeff. Anyway, hold on. Jeff, are you in the PUBG group?
I am.
Yes. For the people listening, we have a USPSA shooter video game group, because that's how big of nerds we are. Jesus. All right. Well, guys, I think another banging podcast. Well done. Thank you so much for coming on, Matt, Jeffy, and Kimmy. I appreciate you guys, especially Matt and Kimmy.
Thank you.
Well, Jeff a little bit too. I like him. I like you all. All right. Listeners, if you have a question you'd like the answer to, go to bensteger.com. Send me your question. Love to hear from you. We do, this is a Q&A show, so we need the questions. Otherwise, we ain't got no show. Oh, yeah.